Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Alicia. I post new tutorials every Thursday, primarily on tumblers, but you know, sometimes I throw something in, I do a review or I do some other key projects. So check out my channel for some of those other ideas. But in this week's video, I decided to do a foil tumbler. Like I'm gonna foil the whole tumbler. And so this idea came from Duncan from Duncan's Custom Airbrush. He used this foil on a project and I fell in love with the foil. I thought it was so cool. So I went and I purchased some from Amazon and I am making a cup. So if you're interested to see what I came up with, stick around and I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Alright guys, so I'm using a 20-ounce skinny straight by Flow, and I'm going to apply this foil using the Aliens Tack It Over and Over to apply the foil. Now, I just want to point out that, you know, normally I sand and prep my cups. I sand them, I spray paint them. This is a stripped cup that I want it to cover over, so you don't have to spray paint it. You can just go over it with your foil because it's going to be complete coverage, so you don't need to spray paint it, but I do still recommend sanding it. So you can see it's all these kind of funky colors that I want to cover up because it just didn't work out. I can't even remember what it was. So I'm applying my Aliens Tack It Over and Over with a soft bristle brush. I did add a little bit of water, but I didn't add a ton of water. And I'm gonna let that dry for between 10 and 20 minutes, and then I'm gonna come in with the foils. And so they come in these sheets. I think it's like a 5x5 or 6x6, I don't know. I don't know the size of it, but it will be on there when you, I'll put, link it in the description below as I always do. So I just pull up one sheet at a time and I just laid it on there and took my soft bristle brush and just kind of pounced it all around. And it stuck beautifully, and that was like, that's it. It's like so super easy. So like, for a skill level on this cup, skill level 1, like it is an easy, super easy beginner cup. And so if you're not familiar with the Aliens Tack It Over and Over, it is a white glue that dries clear and it dries tacky. So that is what you want here. You don't want a wet glue, you want a sticky glue. And so this worked really, really well for it. And so I laid, the sheets on there flat. You can crumple them if you want, depending on how much texture you want, because these sheets do give a lot of texture. Like this particular sheet with the gold and like sort of that burnt look gives a lot of texture, which is something that I really was looking for in this coverage of the cup. Now, what happens if you overlap the foils? So if you overlap foil on top of foil, it's just going to brush off. And it'll stick to the glue, but it'll brush off the rest of it. So go ahead and put a collector paper underneath it if you want to save that extra and put it in a jar, which I do. I kind of crumple it up and put it in a jar. I don't really need to do that because Glitter Makes It now has foil. They have foils that come in jars and in packs or whatever. I am doing the bottom as well. So, you can keep it in a separate jar, or this kind of has the burnt pieces, so I'm going to keep it separate from the gold that Glitter Makes It has. But just beware, this stuff is really super light and flaky. It is a little bit like a hair challenge to deal with, because once you place it down, that's it. On the glue, it's not coming up. You're not going to be pulling this up and rearranging it. So if you kind of get it in, you lay it down and you don't get the coverage that you wanted, then just pull up those pieces and press it in the spots that you missed. Not a big deal. Again, if texture, this is really about texture. So if you're looking for a super smooth application on this, I don't think you're going to get that, but you can certainly try if you want. And then they have, of course, they have gold sheets that are just gold with none of this like burnt kind of look in it, and that may give you a smoother, more chrome look. But I think if you're looking for a chrome look, there's another, like, you should probably go about it with I would say vinyls rather than foils, because like I said, the foils really do give some texture. So I used what, like 4 or 5 sheets on this. Wasn't a lot. You have a whole lot more sheets to work with. And then I'm just gonna go in and continue to peel off any excess and place it in spots where I missed, because you know, you put it down and it just lays where it lays. And just keep brushing off with the soft bristle brush. And that is really it. Like, it's so super easy, and I really like the way this looks. It's like really cool. Like, it may be too much gold for some people. It's definitely not me, because I have a decal that I'm going to put on it from the Dollar Tree, and so I'll talk about that when I am getting ready to apply it. So I'm just gonna let you watch this process, and then we're gonna move on to epoxying this. So right here, I'm just going to take my craft knife and just run it around that rim and get all that excess off, and just, you know, get it off of there so that it doesn't clump up when I put my epoxy on it. So here I'm showing you that I missed a little spot, and that is a super easy fix. Just take some tack it, put it over there, let it dry, and then just take your foil and stick it on there, and that's it, easy peasy. So what's nice about this is there is no dry time. So as soon as you're done applying your foils, go ahead and put your epoxy on. So I mixed up 20 mLs of epoxy. You can use a fast set if you want, or you can use a regular set. It's completely up to you as to which epoxy you want to use. And then I am just gonna go ahead and spread it on as I normally do. And you know, I always say this in my videos, and I'll just, you know, kind of emphasize again, don't overwork your epoxy because it will create bubbles. But, you know, in case you do, we've got that kitchen torch, go ahead and torch it up and get those bubbles out. And then I go back in 5 minutes and torch it again, make sure no bubbles, you know, no other bubbles, or like that I didn't miss any bubbles. So that's it. And I'm only going to do one coat before I'm ready to move in and put my decal on, because this is pretty smooth, so you're not going to have a lot of bumps and pokies and stuff. So I will be back after this has been done, and I did use a quick set epoxy, so I will be back after 4 hours to continue to work on this. And just make sure when you're torching for your bubbles that you don't stay in any one spot for a long time, because you can burn your epoxy. All right, so this has been curing for quite some time. I actually didn't get back to it for another day or two. So I am gonna go in and clean that rim up, and then take my sanding block and sand anything. This is pretty smooth. It's not real pokey, but there are, like, it's a little bit, like there's some like raised spots, but it's not crazy. It's nothing that another coat of epoxy wouldn't completely cover and remedy, but I'm gonna just give it a very light sand with a medium sand grit. And so this sanding block has like a medium on one side and then like a fine on the other side. I don't know the sanding numbers, honestly. There was no need to use anything really harsh, because like I said, the pokies weren't, you know, crazy. It was just a little unevenness. So just evening that out. Evening, yeah, is that really the proper word? Probably not. Anyway, just even that out, and then go ahead and spray it with your 91% alcohol. Wipe it down with a coffee filter so that you don't emit any lint. Wipe up your space. And then here, I picked these up at the Dollar Tree, and like these are wall decals, and I thought they were so pretty, and I was like, someday I'm gonna do something with these. I've had these for quite some time, and I decided when I was looking at them that I really wanted to put this on this cup. So that's what I'm doing. And These aren't particularly glittery or sparkly, but I'm going to take care of that when I put my epoxy on. So I am using those little doohickeys that come around it. I think they're super cute. And once I get done doing this, I'm not gonna seal it with anything. I'm just gonna go right into my next layers of epoxy. And so I mixed up 20 mLs of epoxy, and I'm putting in ultra fine shimmer, which is a beautiful glitter additive. We'll add some gold glitter tones to this epoxy when you put it over. And I knew that this was going to be, you know, really, really pretty, but I had no idea, like, the way it just brought all of these colors together and just put that sparkle that that decal needed. So I'm really, really super happy with how this came out, how it, you know, went on, and just the shimmer. And you guys, you can't see this in the video like I can see it in real person, and it is so awesome. I'm gonna try to capture it in pictures later once this is done curing, but I don't know if you're gonna get the gist of it, but I say go ahead and try it because it's gonna be so awesome. You're gonna be really, really surprised. So, all right, 20 mLs epoxy. I didn't even use all of the epoxy, and that is it, guys, for this tutorial. So I'm gonna let this cure, and then I'm gonna come back with my final remarks. All right, guys, she is done. Look at this. I think this is so pretty. I love the texture in this, and then this design is just like really cute for like a Dollar Tree thing. Why not? So, you know, fear not if you do not have a Cricut or some sort of cutting, you know, machine or whatever, and you want to buy stickers. Dollar Tree has really cute ones for inexpensive. And this came in a 6-pack of different colors. So, sorry, I'm still fighting with my voice. And so, you know, the ultra fine shimmer gave this shimmer over top of this entire thing. And I'm going to try to get a really good picture outside so you can see it. And then I'm going to post it after this. But that is it for this, guys. Thank you all for watching as usual. Please give me a big old thumbs up, subscribe, share, comment. I'd love to hear your feedback. Check out my Facebook group, It's a Craft Thing, and also GMI's Superstars group. It's a super fun group with contests and stuff. You can win free glitter. So that is it, guys. I will see you all next time. Bye.